everyone, I'm Molly, and I work for the Communications Department at Charleston County Public Library, and today we're here for another Cooking with Kids session, and I'm going to show you how to make bread in a bag. So what you'll need for your bread is all-purpose flour, white sugar, rapid rising yeast, instant yeast, warm, not hot water, olive oil, salt, and a gallon Ziploc bag. So to start, you want to go ahead and preheat your oven. You're going to preheat it to 375, and I've already set my oven for 375. You'll probably hear it beep when it preheats shortly. And then you're going to go ahead and start putting your ingredients into your Ziploc bag. So you're going to start by placing 1 cup of flour into your bag. So make sure you have those measuring cups and measuring spoons on hand. And I will go ahead and warn you that today's Cooking with Kids session might get a little messy. So be prepared for that. So we have our 1 cup of flour. I'm going to go ahead and open our Ziploc bag. And add that in. And then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of white sugar. This is my tablespoon measurement. We have 1, 2, and 3. Close that up. And then next, we're going to add our rapid rise instant yeast. And so you'll need 1/4 ounce of rapid rise instant yeast to add to your bag. So you just need to tear that open and pour it in. And then we're going to add our 1 cup of warm water. And then we're going to squeeze all the air out of the bag and we're going to mix together the ingredients. Make sure that you get all that air out and that your bag is tightly sealed. Okay, and then we're just going to mix around the ingredients like so. And once it's all mixed together, we're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. I will go ahead and tell you that there are several parts of this process in which we're going to have to sit and wait for things to get ready. Overall, the total time takes about 50 minutes. We have to pause once here for this set of ingredients for 10 minutes. And then we're also going to have to wait 30 minutes for the dough to rise once we get to that part. And then 25 to 30 minutes for everything to cook. But everything else is rather quick in between those waiting times. Okay, so we've mixed all the ingredients up and we're just going to sit it on the counter and wait 10 minutes. Okay, it's been 10 minutes that we've been letting our dough sit for a little bit. You should be able to see some bubbles in here, and that's an indicator that our yeast is working. If you do not see bubbles, then that might be an indication that your yeast has died, which can happen if it's been sitting in your cabinet for a little bit too long. So if you don't see those bubbles, you might need to do that first part of the process over again with some new yeast. But we do have our bubbles here, so we're going to move on to the next step. And that next step includes adding 1 more cup of flour, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. So we're going to go ahead and add that next cup of flour in. 1 cup of flour. Then 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And I like to hold my measuring spoons and measuring cups over the bag as I pour in the ingredients just to make it a little less messy. Like I said, you are going to get messy during this process, so it's okay if you don't want to do it that way. But I think it makes it just a little easier. So we have 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, and 3 tablespoons. And then next we're going to add the 1½ teaspoons of salt. Here's our first teaspoon. And our 1/2 teaspoon. Okay. And then once again, we're going to seal the bag shut and mix together those ingredients. And again, you want to make sure you press out all the air in the bag before you seal it. Okay. And then we're going to mix around the ingredients. You can tell that it's well mixed when everything looks like it's the same color. You can see like some parts are a little bit more yellow where you can see the oil. So when it's mixed together really well, you won't see yellow parts anywhere. It'll all look the same. Okay. So that's mixed together pretty well. You can tell it's starting to look a little bit more like dough. So now we're going to open it up and we're going to add that last cup of flour in. So you'll have used 3 cups of flour in total. Add in our last cup. And we're going to seal it up again, mix it up one more time. Again, press all the air out. And we'll mix. You want to mix until it's all blended really well. Okay, looks like it's blended really well. So for the next part of the process, you want to make sure that you have the super clean hands and the super clean counter. I recommend washing your counter with soap and water as well as your hands. And then we're going to lightly flour the surface so that we can knead the dough on top of it. And this just helps the dough to not stick to the counter and stay in one piece. And so we're going to knead the dough for about 5 to 10 minutes until it feels nice and smooth. Just place it on top of that flour that you put on the counter. As you can see, it's very sticky right now. which I don't know about you, but the mess is one of my favorite parts about cooking. So then we're going to, like I said, we're going to knead the dough for about 5 to 10 minutes until the dough is nice and smooth. And if you need to add a little bit more flour to your surface as you go through this process, you'll be able to tell. You can just do that. I'm going to continue to knead until, like I said, it's nice and smooth. So it could be 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when I'm finished. Okay, so I've kneaded the dough for about 7 minutes and it's nice and smooth. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to separate it, pull it into 2 parts. And then I'm going to grease 2 loaf pans. I'm going to use some Pam to grease the 2 loaf pans. 1, 2. And then I'm going to sit the dough inside there and cover them both with a towel and let them sit for 30 minutes so that the dough has a chance to rise. Okay. Then after those 30 minutes, we're going to pop it in the oven. And it takes about 25 to 30 minutes to cook. You just want to cook it until it looks golden brown on the outside. Or if you knock on the bread, it sounds hollow on the inside. So that's what we're going for. We have 30 minutes to wait now. We'll be back soon. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes. It's time to remove the towels, check out our dough, see if it's risen well, and then we're going to put it in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. Like I said, we're trying to get a golden brown color on the outside, and when you knock on the bread, you hear like a hollow sound on the inside. That's how you'll know when it's ready. So we're going to go ahead and uncover it. I'll show you what it looks like now. This is 1, and this is 2. So it does look like they've risen. So the yeast is working. So we're going to go ahead and put it in the oven now, and I'll set a timer for 25 minutes, and then we'll see what it looks like. We'll check on it then, see if we need to pop it back in the oven for another 5 minutes, but hopefully 25 more minutes and we'll have our bread. Okay, it's been 25 minutes, so it's time to pull out one of those loaves and see if it has that golden brown color that we're looking for. This is what our loaf looks like. It's perfectly golden brown, so I'm going to go ahead and take out that second one, and it looks like we are all finished. I really hope that you enjoy your bread and that you'll come back to our CCPL Facebook page for more programs like this in the future.